Hello everybody and welcome to Camp Adventure Time Loui. We are camped out on top of a beautiful hill. Wouldn't call it a mountain up here today because I feel a little bit under the weather. I've had a cold for the past few days here, so I've just been resting on top of this beautiful hill. Cannot complain about where I am for getting better, but I am resting and not really doing any intense adventures for the time being until I feel better. So I wanted to just go ahead and answer some questions that y'all asked over on YouTube and on Instagram, and help y'all who are new to the channel kind of get to know who I am and what will be happening in the future and what my plans are, and you know, just some general insight. I don't know, I feel like these videos are just like an obligatory YouTube thing and they're kind of fun. Yeah, because who doesn't like to talk about themselves? Just a low maintenance kind of video today. I feel very lucky and privileged to be able to take the time off when I'm feeling sick like this and rest, because I know so many people don't have that option in this country. In the US, it's kind of messed up that you can't rest when you're feeling ill. First question is from my friend Daniel, and it is, how are coffee and cooking going? Coffee and cooking are going great. I love the stove that I have. I'll show you in some B-roll, but it is a like griddle slash normal burner. If it's too cold for some reason, I can't use the two at once. The propane can gets frozen and then the gas stops flowing, so if anyone has any solutions to that, that would be super helpful. But if it's a nice sunny and warm day like this, I can use the griddle and the cooktop at the same time, and it's kind of fun to have a different way of cooking other than just, you know, some skillet cooking or using a pot or pan. The griddle makes things a lot more fun. And yeah, I'm living more like a whole being, because if you're new here, for the first 2-ish months of living back in the Jeep again, I was just using a little pocket rocket stove, and I was just drinking instant coffee and eating a lot of dehydrated meal kind of things. It's amazing when you take away the luxuries, you realize what is luxury and what is excess. And to me, I feel like having this burner and this griddle and burner is perfect. And also I've switched over to AeroPress coffee, which I'm getting down, but I'm liking the AeroPress coffee. Next question is, how did you know what you wanted and which to get? So I'm assuming that this question means about the Jeep. And for those of you who are new, I started off in a Ram ProMaster, which I ended up signing over to my mom. She ended up finishing paying the financing on that, and she owns it outright now. So I lived in that van, and that van was good for starting out van life and living on the road. However, it just never felt like it fit me. And so I took a break from van life for like 6-ish months. Thankfully, this was when the pandemic was starting in Oregon, and my mom and I had switched vans. She had an Aerostar at the time that she was living in. I was like, well, you should have the nicer van to live in, and since I'm going to be living in a house for a little bit. And so then I ended up building out that Aerostar when I got freaking evicted, me and my roommates, during the pandemic, because the owner wanted to sell the house. Whole story. And so I ended up building that out, and that was a great van because I had no payment on it. I built it out with the cash that I had, and yeah, I was just living the life for a good year. But as old vehicles do, they end up getting older. And it was actually here in Moab where I am currently. Well, not this far back on a road because of my Aerostar. I had to park more in the front country, as people say. And it was here that I realized that I wanted something 4x4. And as many people know, Moab is like the mecca of Jeeps. And I remember driving around and being like, you know what, I would really be cool to have? There are so many of these little gnat things around. Would be a Jeep. I feel like a Jeep would be the perfect 4x4 for me, in terms of I really wanted to learn how to rock crawl and do lots of cool obstacles and stuff, but it was like a good mixture of that and then the space in the back of the Jeep. Like I had seen a couple Jeep builds, and I was like, I could totally build out the inside of the Jeep and be comfortable and happy and get out to places like this where I can live mostly outdoors rather than inside of my van. I prefer that. It's nicer to be able to cook outside and For me, it was just a matter of like, I need a vehicle that could get me out further away from where, you know, the normal lower clearance vehicles have to stop, you know? So that was basically it. And I really like the accessories that there are available for the Jeep. There's a lot of options, and that was part of it too. So it just kind of worked out. But my main requirement was a 4x4. I'm really happy with this choice. I think I have settled on my vehicle after trying out the 2 different types of vans. I definitely know that this is the vehicle for moi. 4Runner versus Wrangler. I mean, I honestly have no opinion either way. Like, I do love my Jeep Wrangler, love it, but also I think it's funny how there's this whole like debate like against like Tacomas and Wranglers and 4Runners. Honestly, just like whatever car is like, whatever SUV or 4x4 makes you happy, like, cool. I really, if I'm being honest, I really don't care about that whole thing. Like, I love my Jeep. It's good for me, works for me, so choose what you want. Oh, and this person's like, will it last beyond 200,000 miles? I don't know. Follow along, maybe we'll see. I'm almost at 50K miles on the Jeep now. So, in all of the traveling I'm going to be doing in the next couple of years, I'm sure I'll hit 200K, and we'll see. So, don't forget to subscribe. How are you enjoying Utah? I go every summer and love the Logan area to see cool rocks. Honestly, Utah has rocks everywhere. No matter where you go in Utah, you're going to be surrounded by beautiful sandstone of different ages. There's the Jurassic age and this other age of sandstone, and I freaking love it. It's beautiful. I'm going to get back into rock climbing out here. Utah's cool. It's very surprising. Moab is a pretty busy place, but in general, like the further out you get from Moab in that general area in like Salt Lake City, like it's so empty. Like there's so much space here. So I really love that aspect of it. It's a really good place to be an overlander, you know, 4x4 off-roader kind of person. Utah, surprisingly, loved it. Didn't think I would like it this much. I really like all the slot canyons and normal canyons, and it's great. These bugs are gonna get on my nerves. This might be some good news to you, those of you who are Alaska, really want to see us thrive and live in Alaska, my mom and I, and the long-term plans are to, you know, save up the money to really build it out, etc. Currently. So finally, we are going to be getting an estimate on our, you know, from our contractor about what work they can do on our property. It was a really busy year. They were like the people that we are choosing, the contractors we are choosing to go with because of their really good reputation on the island, have been backed up, like super backed up because of COVID. And then this past year, the snow came very early, so they weren't able to work on projects. And it's just been a lot of things in the way. So hopefully that clears things up for y'all. For some reason, I think a lot of people missed us talking about in previous videos, like, hey, we're coming back. Well, I want to come back to Alaska. Don't know about my mom. I think she wants to, but maybe not full time. It's pretty rough up there in the winter. She does like sun. So do I. But yeah, so we're working on that. We gotta actually send a little plat of our property explaining what we want, because we're not there, and they're gonna go and assess it for us, and then we'll know how much we need to save up for them to complete the projects that we need. They're all projects that we can't do ourselves, like a driveway and, you know, generally starting off the beginning part of the property, because it is a very raw piece of land. So yeah, that's a general plan. I would really like to, it's going to take several years, so that's just the truth of things. Building in Alaska is not easy. The resources are limited, and the services like contractors are also limited, so patience. And that is why we are down traveling around, enjoying our time, because why not? Otherwise we'd be in Alaska just waiting on our property, and when there's this beautiful big world to explore. So we will come back. That's just life. I think that's another thing with YouTube, is that people get very like stuck. They think that you need to be stuck in one singular niche of topics, and it's like, no, that's not really realistic. Like, humans are very dynamic. Things don't always go to plan, and that's life. You got to be flexible and make the best out of every situation. So I'm excited to get this estimate back and some plans and like solidify some scheduling for our property, etc. I really love Southeast Alaska with all of my heart. I miss it a lot, that's for sure. But I'm also very grateful to be in the desert. It's kind of like balancing out like it's balancing out all of the wet, humid rain and snow with the desert. Why can't you have both, right? Camera did the old-fashioned thing of turning off on its own. So yeah, what will be the circumstance where you plan on, if ever, settling down? Settling down, I think, means different things for different people. And for me, the definition of settling down would be having a little home base in Southeast Alaska, a place where I can rest, specifically in the summers because it is so stunning up there. It'd be really nice to do that and then travel around in the winters. And I mean, really whenever I feel like it, making videos, improving the topics of my videos, etc. So that's really settling down for me. In terms of the old traditional American settling down, I don't know, like, I think it would be cool to have a family one day, etc. But there's so many things that are in the way, as many of y'all know in this day and age, that make it kind of a complicated and complex thing to actually consider. So I guess if that's what you mean by settling down, I don't know. I think there's a lot of pressure on women, specifically my age, to figure that out at this time. One, because of the biological clock, but also we live in the 21st century. Like, people are having families very late in their lives, and I want to live first. So I don't know. I really don't know. I can barely plan 2 to 3 months out accurately. Like, I end up changing my plans often. Would you do something crazy like drive down to the edge of the continent of South America? Yes. There's no further explanation other than yes, that sounds like a really awesome adventure and something that would be so cool to do eventually. I haven't seen you use your ground tent lately. Do you still use it, or is it just easier to sleep in the back of the Jeep? Oh, heck yeah, it's so much easier to sleep in the back of the Jeep. I mean, that's always been my goal, was to have a nice platform in the back of the Jeep. Setting up and taking down a tent every night or every other night is not easy, and I'm so much more comfortable in the Jeep. I have a whole setup in there, which y'all will see eventually if you haven't already. I can't remember if I've shown you guys, but it's very comfortable in there, and comfort is key if you're going to do this long term. Makes this a lot more sustainable. Have any advice to do what you do or live as tiny as you do for people with health challenges and debt? Do you have any struggles that you face that you don't show us? No need to specify, thanks. Loving the Jeep stuff. Oh yeah, everybody has struggles. I mean, I won't talk about them since you said no need to specify, but yeah, everyone has struggles, and I, in particular, do have student debt as a U.S. citizen, and you could very much do this while having debt, and I would argue that doing this if you have debt, I mean, considering how much debt you have, doing it on a budget can help you get rid of that debt. I know some people on social media and personally who use this as a way to make the best of a situation and pay off their debt while still being able to live a life that is different and interesting and not having to feel stuck in one place. It's definitely doable. I am currently paying my debt while doing this, and it's great. It's in terms of health challenges, I guess my only advice would be, I don't know what sort of health challenges you have, but I guess my advice is for people who want to do something like this, you can definitely find vehicles that help accommodate whatever your illness is, etc. But if you can't live like this full time and you want to have a piece of this, I highly recommend doing this when you have some free time, going out and doing it here and there. It doesn't have to be black or white, like doing it or not doing it. You can, test things out, see how it goes. That's what I recommend. I hope that helps. I am definitely very fortunate to not have any health challenges at the moment. So that's the best insight I can give you. The camera was getting too hot outdoors. So I'm going to finish the rest of these questions in here, move all the stuff. I'm always curious what travelers do for money. YouTube ads pay enough, or do you do anything on the side? No, ad revenue does not pay nearly enough. YouTube takes 45% of everything I make, which is a lot. Like, I could probably sustain this way better if they didn't take that much out of it, but what really helps is having a Patreon. Soon I will be adding in YouTube memberships as well, and patronage helps a lot. The reason why I am able to make these videos and continue to make these videos is because of my patronage. It just helps with the extra little bit of money that I need to boost myself to be able to pay for things like gas and like subscriptions to Adobe and, you know, music royalty accounts. So it's very, very helpful. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, there is a link in the description and I will link it somewhere over here. But yeah, without that, I would not be able to do it. Other than that, I've been toying with sponsorships here and there more and more, and that's where I think the brunt of the money comes from. I used to be very against doing sponsorships because I find ads in videos to take away from it. However, I think it does get to a point where it's like, you can't make these videos and not make money. It's not sustainable over time. So I've been doing that and picking and choosing ones that fit in and slowly integrating that into my videos a bit more. That's a big help as well. You can also sell your content. There's one company that I work with pretty frequently, and I sell photos of their products in different beautiful places and videos and stuff, and they pay me to do that as well. So there's a lot of options to make money on the side, aside from YouTube revenue. But other than that, I'm pretty YouTube focused at this point. I don't do really anything other than that, which is a blessing. So the main question is, when will we see you travel Alaska? And it will be sometime in the future. I'm currently really enjoying traveling around places I've never been. So you will eventually. Let's see. How beautiful. Rank your top 3 most beautiful locations. That is really hard to do, my friend. There are so many beautiful places for so many beautiful different reasons, and I would really have a hard time doing that. So this is not my all-time favorite 3, but 3 beautiful places I could think off the top of my mind that I've been to are, let's say, Southeast Alaska, number 1 most beautiful place. Here in Utah is very beautiful, but more specifically, I like the Vermilion Cliffs area. It's stunning. As well as, I'm torn between like Glacier, Montana area and the Olympic Peninsula in Oregon. Those places they have a vibe about them that really get to my heart. Don't you hear Alaska screaming your name, Loui? Yes, I do. I hear it almost every day. I love Alaska. How do you feel about your life currently? How would you describe this portion of your coming of age story? And or how would your younger self see you now? I think my younger self would be very proud and very amazed that I have a rig like this right now. This is something that was unimaginable to me a couple years ago. I had no idea really that I would ever be able to have something this nice. So yeah, my younger self would be amazed. I'm feeling very proud and very confident about myself recently. Something I think that women feel particularly strongly here in the US specifically is this need to meet societal expectations and to fulfill our gender role. And currently, I feel like that's not something that, I just feel very broken of those chains currently, and I think going out and really living your life in the way that you want to do that really helps see that you don't really need to fit into the societal norms. I've always felt that, even as a child, like I've always felt that in a sense, but I feel it very strongly now, and I feel very confident in knowing that I don't need that, and it's really nice. It's honestly, yeah, I just feel like the most confident woman that I've ever felt in my life, and it's great. Obviously, everyone's still a work in progress, and I'm still learning so much about myself, but I like getting older. It's nice. Oof, my camera keeps overheating. I guess it's that warm out right now. And what are you most looking forward to in the future? And what are your sexiest feeling goals you have for yourself? I think the most sexy goal I have is learning to speak Spanish fluently. I think that would be the most sexy thing ever. I want to be fluent in Spanish by the time I die. It's one of my goals in life. I think it's beautiful language, useful language, and it opens you up to a whole world of ideas and opinions and culture. So that is one of my biggest goals. And also my goal is to head down to Mexico in this coming year. I'm gonna wait till it's cooler down there. I was initially thinking I wanted to just send it and go down there this July, but I've changed my mind about going to Mexico in the summer just because living in a Jeep, it would be very hot. So I also want to save some money up for my Mexican auto insurance, so I think I'm going to wait on that until it gets cooler. But that's my biggest goal. I want to learn how to surf and speak Spanish, and I think that would be really sexy. Let's see. My question is, why would you go to a dry desert where things are looking sketch? Going from one of the wettest places on earth to one of the most dried out, smoke-filled places in America. Lake Powell and Meade are critical, and if things go bad for World War III, to martial law, the last place I would want to be is in a movie set for Mad Max. I just, like, in short, don't think this way. I think your concern is definitely valid. Like, there's a lot happening in the world right now that is scary. However, I personally don't allow stuff like that to stop me from living my life, stop me from feeling joy and living a joyful life and doing what I want. I guess in short, like, I decided to come to the desert because I was tired of the wet. I wanted to balance it out and see the Southwest with a vehicle that would help me really see it well. I have personally been saving the Southwest for when I had a vehicle that could get me around this area very easily. So yeah, this is a place I've really been wanting to go, and I'm not gonna let stuff stop me from doing that. I mean, in a reasonable sense. If it's not safe to be in a place, I'm not gonna go there, but it is very safe to be in the desert right now, and I won't be here forever. I think that I will probably move on from here, but yeah, I simply just don't let things like that stop me from living life. I hope that answers your question. Melissa's question is so funny to me. The next question is, my question is, are you beefing with your mom, or did you guys have a falling out? If so, did it lead to you guys parting ways? Something feels off. Nothing, not trying to stir up a mess. Wish you both the best. Plain and simple, there's no beef between my mom. We just have different traveling plans. I'm a grown woman, she's a grown woman, and we have different desires and things we want to do. So that's why. And I still pretty much talk to my mom every day, and we keep in touch and everything. I'm super close with my mom, if you guys didn't know that already, so. Love you, Mom, if you're watching this. That's it for this really low budget Q&A video. I just wanted to take the time to answer some questions and clear some things up for y'all, and have a little break from producing videos, epic videos for a second, so that I can take care of my health. I hope that you do the same for you when you need time off. That's really important. Yeah, no more with this hustle culture stuff. Let's just take care of ourselves. Anyways, love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.